The king and queen of Eldoria were killed by Tyrus, the brother of Vagan, who then took over the kingdom. Princess Jane, Vagan's daughter, escapes into the forest. The goddess Elora tries 2 times to save the princess because of a challenge from the god Athra. Nadia, the goddess of evil, supported Tyrus. The princess found refuge with an old woman in the forest, whose son fell in love with her. Elora used a magic mirror to see who Tyrus's enemy was, and it showed Tyrus's wife. When time went backward, it revealed that Tyrus and Nickel were friends when they were young. Nickel is in love with Lewis, and Nickel introduces Lewis to Tyrus. Tyrus, mesmerized by Lewis's beauty. Tyrus takes Nickel with him to battle against a tribe and secretly killed him. And then Tyrus married Louise. And he said to Lewis, "When we have a baby boy, you'll be the queen and I'll be the king of Eldoria." Then, he took Lewis to a secret place and showed her the royal scepter and crown of the dynasty. Lewis came home and told his father to bring the Dr. Kadamba. In the garden, Louise sits with Halder, her hands rubbing the deer standing nearby. The doctor who came to the garden stood in front of her and said, Halder said, "You called for something urgent. Are you not feeling well?" Louise glared at her father and said to him, "You go home. I need to talk to him alone." Not understanding why she wanted him to leave, Halder began walking towards the house. Louise confirmed that her father is gone. "Doctor, do you have any medicine to stop women from having babies?" she asked in a determined voice. "Yes, there is, dear. After getting married and having children, I will provide it to those who don't want more babies." "Then, they won't have babies," the doctor replied. Louise asked, "Can you be sure that if you take it, you won't have babies?" "My medicine has never failed." "Surely, no babies will be born," he said in a firm voice. "Then I need that medicine now. Please go and get it right away," her voice sounded commanding. "Don't tell anyone, not even my father. If they find out, both you and I could be killed," Louise expressed with a hint of fear. Elora and the other fairies, who were watching the magic mirror, felt sad seeing Lewis's life. "Enough," said Elora. "Magic angel, look in the mirror and say something." The magic mirror dissolved into the air and disappeared. Elora sadly said, "Lewis has sacrificed her life for the people of Eldoria. We need to use her." The wise angel, seeing her, said, "Lewis hasn't had a child yet to save the king. But now Tyrus has killed the king. But now, we know a way, so we can stop him from becoming king," she said excitedly. Elora asked eagerly, "What way?" The other angels watched her face curiously, waiting to hear what the wise angel was going to say. The wise angel looked at her fellow angels' faces and said, "We'll steal his dynasty's crown, scepter, and sword and keep them safe where no one knows and no one can go." In the group, one of the fellow fairy looked at a wise fairy and asked a question, "Why can't Tyrus become the king of Eldoria without that crown?" The wise fairy replied, "It's not just about tradition, it's been the tradition for thousands of years. Without the crown, he can't be recognized as the king, even if he believes he is. The heads of ministers and even the priest responsible for crowning him won't agree. Even if they did, neighboring kingdoms wouldn't accept it either. Without wearing the dynasty crown, people will see him as an invader. He won't be considered the rightful heir until he wears it." The wise fairy paused, and Elora asked, "Where will you keep the dynasty crown that you are going to steal?" The wise fairy replied, "In Eagle Fort Fortress." Everyone looked surprised.